Well, every year, the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce organizes a business conference in Puerto Rico. But this year, they decided to hold a humanitarian mission for the island. Our BronxNet reporter, Yela Uberez, had the opportunity to speak to the Director of Operations and witness the work that they're doing for the YMCA in Puerto Rico.
So right next to me, I have Zulma Azul Brown, Director of Operations for the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We are at the YMCA in San Juan, and we are doing, we're part of the relief effort coming from the Bronx to San Juan to help the YMCA get better and help them out, and just after the hurricane, just make the whole place look better for the kids and for the community. Zulma, tell me a little bit about that.
So, as the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, it was important for us to listen to our members, and many of our members wanted to go to Puerto Rico. They did not want us to cancel our trip, and many of us requested, listen, is there anyone we can partner with out there, an organization, somebody that we can go help and do some relief or fix or do anything with? So we partnered with the YMCA, and it so happens to be that was the point where the YMCA in Santurce was open. So we spoke to the executive director, Cora, and we pretty much mentioned to her, listen, how can we help? What can we do? And she provided a list of, supplies that they really needed in terms of repair. She kept telling me, we're so grateful that you're coming. We're so grateful that you're coming. And to be honest with you, it's about us being grateful and humbled to just do a service, in the human spirit. So it's a privilege to even be here, at the Y, helping and to be a part of restoration and the much needed help and aid that they need. And, what better place to do it than a place that serves families and children, right? Because la familia es la fuerza de todos nosotros. So again, we're so humble, so privileged to be here with them.
So let's show a little bit of what we have here. I see that we have a few crayons over there. We have markers, we have t-shirts, socks. We have also some baby food on the left. We have a little bit of everything here because we're just trying to help them out. We're trying to make them feel a little bit better after the hurricane. And if we walk to the right, we have some items here too. Zulma, tell me about this area here. We have some painting items too.
Oh yeah, this is actually one of the most exciting areas because today we get to help bring the park back to life so that the children can play and be kids as they are. So many of our members in their suitcase, the 2 suitcases that were allowed on the airplane, were able to bring painting supplies, rolls, gloves, batteries, pretty much everything we're gonna need. We wanted to make sure we were the ones that were doing the full service and providing everything that they needed. We didn't want them to lift a finger. We're here to help, and it's the least that we can do.
And over there we also have a few backpacks. If we follow Zulma, right there. Zulma, tell me about the backpacks, the kids' products over there.
So the backpacks were quite impressive. It was actually a school in New York, and they brought all of their kids together, and each kid donated a book bag to give to another child. And here we have all the book bags, and as you were able to see earlier, we have the supplies to fill the book bags, and we can't wait to see the smiles that it's going to bring to their faces. And I think the significance of that is a child helping another child, and I think that as adults we could definitely emulate that spirit of giving, of service, of love. If we were all a little bit more filled with the innocence of a child, I think the world would be a better place.
Thank you, Zulma, so much. There's a lot of work to do. We're going to keep updating you after this.
Next 2 guests had the chance to partner up with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and give back to the people of Puerto Rico as well. Now, joining us to tell about their experience in Puerto Rico, we welcome now the Director of Government Relations at the Jewish Board, Cara Berkowitz, and the Senior Manager at Wellcare of New York, Alex Diaz. And thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this here. We saw a little bit about what Yela was talking about, the good work that's going on down there, but also to have the opportunity here to play a part in that effort. Cara, I'll start with you. Talk to us about the effort. It happened about 2 weeks ago, and what was the results?
I think it was a great experience. I'd like to thank the Chamber for having us there.
bringing a lot of clothes and supplies for kids. It was really fantastic to be able to deliver it to kids that clearly don't have a lot, who are living in shelters, and to help improve a playground that was destroyed in part during the hurricane. So it was really important also to, I think, raise awareness, to continue to raise awareness about what's happening there. And I think the Chamber did a great job, and we were happy to be part of that effort.
How are you able to reach out? How does this happen here?
Well, Wellcare has a long-standing relationship with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, so they do tremendous work in the city. So they reached out. They asked us to support them. They do this event every year, but this year had a different feel to it. So Wellcare was more than happy to participate and support the people in Puerto Rico and do the best that we can.
And as you said, you do this every year. Was there a little, could you sense a different set of passion this time around?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this time there was a real sense of wanting to help the island as opposed to just going in solidarity, and to appreciate all that's great about Puerto Rico, to see that people really needed help. I mean, my employer, Jewish Board, sent me because they felt that it was really important to go and show support for what's going on and the people there.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I got to the airport, the feelings, I go to Puerto Rico every year, so when I got there, I saw the difference. When I got in the cab, had a conversation with the taxi driver, and she was explaining to me all the issues happening in the island. So when we got to the hotel, we saw the difference. Even just in the Carolina area, we saw the difference. But then going in the bus, the chartered bus that we were able to visit the different parts, meet with the different mayors from the 3 towns that we visited, we saw how tough the situation is in Puerto Rico. And Wellcare is very committed to making sure that we support the island. We sent, previously to my trip, we had our director of behavioral health go out with Dominican medical and dental providers to provide medical relief efforts as well. So we're very committed as a company to be engaged and be through this process and support Puerto Rico as much as we can.
Talk to us a little bit about the takeaway, Cara. You spent time, as you said, you stayed at the hotel, rode on the bus, had an opportunity to meet with, elected officials and residents. What's the takeaway, and what's the message that you would send back to people today?
I mean, I think that we can't forget about the people of Puerto Rico. There's still so many needs. I mean, here in the Bronx, there's such great healthcare facilities, great infrastructure, and people in Puerto Rico, unfortunately, don't have those same benefits that we as Americans all should. And I think that we need to keep them in mind, keep bringing supplies, and keep helping out, because there's a real need there.
Yeah. And I would just encourage that everyone continues to volunteer, continues to give back. As you mentioned earlier in this segment, the news probably isn't showing up as much. We're not getting as much media attention, but organizations like BronxNet are doing tremendous work in providing the information back to the communities, back to the people. Here, not in the island and having family over there, it was very impactful for me when the hurricane happened, because we went through a lot just trying to get in contact with our families. So I think what we have to continue to do is stay vigilant, stay supportive. The island continues to need our help, and I think from a corporate community, from the non-for-profit sector, from the community leaders, our elected officials, it takes a village, right? So we have to just make sure that we continue to do everything that we're doing to get Puerto Rico back on its feet.
So going forward, what happens now? Do you still continue with relief efforts? I mean, you came back, I know obviously after the experience, do you say, listen, we still got to get some more stuff? How does it go from here?
Absolutely. I mean, we're still collecting supplies. I mean, we've talked to people about collecting more things, because the need is ongoing. People still need clothes, they need medical supplies. So definitely, I think that's part of it. I mean, having gone to Puerto Rico many times, it's especially more part of what I think of every day, especially as we get close to Thanksgiving, thinking that I'm really grateful to live here, but also that we really need to continue to think about people and not forget what they're going through.
Yeah. So for people who want to help out, what can they do and how can they do? Can they contact your organization? What do they do?
Well, with Wellcare, we have offices from all the way in Buffalo all the way to New York City, right? So we're a national company. We've been involved in New York State with a lot of relief efforts throughout the state. Even in Illinois, our Chicago team has been very active, and in Florida, our Tampa team. But here in the Bronx, we have an office at 1043 Southern Boulevard. Our staff is there, so we can coordinate efforts with other community partners. We supported an initiative with Senator Diaz, Assemblyman Crespo, and other elected officials a few weeks back in a relief effort to getting supplies out for the island. So we're going to stay committed. We're going to stay involved because that, as a company, we're committed to making sure that we support our communities.
Mm-hmm. And so going forward, obviously, a lot of people will continue to have their eyes on Puerto Rico because the need is still so great. Do you find the power is still compromised and challenged, resources hard to get in, and then those people who are sending supplies actually are having a hard time getting those supplies from the port actually to homes? Out of everything that you guys saw, what was the biggest, probably most heart-wrenching thing to you?
I think going into the shelters and seeing very young children with not many supplies or clothes, and just really kind of there with their parents, and their parents, it was the middle of the day, clearly didn't have anywhere else to go, had really not many basic life things that they needed, and it was really heartbreaking to realize that this was their future until they really find housing and employment, which is not easy to come by right now. So that was a really tough thing to watch, the unending poverty and some lack of hope.
For me, it really was those bus rides when we got to see the devastation and the impact that it's having on the individuals on the island. When we visited Loíza, we saw some really difficult things over there, people suffering a lot, which again, BronxNet did a tremendous job in covering that. So those type of, those type of situations are what I take away as something that I want to make sure we continue to give back and do more.
Cara, Alex, thank you so much for coming and sharing the great work that you guys did going down to Puerto Rico and providing some help and also sharing some love. Thanks much.
Thank you.
All righty, listen, I want you to stay with us because in a special interview, our cameras actually visited San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz at the headquarters of what has become the biggest donation center in the island. In fact, we're going to go to that story right now.